And understand that even when you tell yourself, I am doing this, I will be better tomorrow. She walked away. Let me work on myself so that I can be better tomorrow. For when I am better tomorrow, I will get a lady. That is the conflict. I have been in a relationship with this lady. She walked away. Let me work on myself. Let me go get some money. Let me go get some assets. But the time is supposed to create now things biologically, to create things now physiologically, linguistically. Time isn't supposed to create a psychological world. Okay, there is no time in a psychological world. I am this way biologically for someone to grow verbally so that they can know how they can express themselves. Time needs to be present. Who I am today isn't who I was 9 years ago. Now I am 20 years old. 9 years ago I was 11 years old. So time is needed for me to grow biologically. And that is what exists. But in a psychological world, time psychologically creates conflict. Because your subconscious reality is relying on an illusion, because it isn't entirely a reality, but it is a perception that you saved depending on how you felt about it, and you are doing things on that influence. Now, when your ex walks away and she was attractive and you can't let go, maybe your wife walked away, maybe you had a kid with her and then she walked away, right? Your psychological world knows through alcohol, I will be better because there is psychological pain. Through sex, I can deal with this terror of conflict. Through what? Dating other different types of women, I can deal with this terror of conflict. Okay? Through giving myself to a specific thing, to a job, engaging in a specific work consistently, I can deal with this terror of conflict. So man hasn't entirely been free from this conflict in a psychological world. And since it causes pain, it thinks engaging in a specific work, having a specific display, engaging in sexual pleasures with different types of women, doing a specific thing, or engaging in alcohol, it will solve this terror of conflict. Having a specific belief, following a specific system, it will solve what? This terror of conflict in a psychological world. But no one can tell you how to go about it. No system, no sex, no alcohol can solve that terror of conflict. Because once you apply system, you apply sex, you apply alcohol, you apply what? You apply belief, then you are telling yourself, I am engaging in this because I feel this way, she walked away. Or I need a woman. I am supposed to work on myself right now. Even when I am suffering and I am going through this, I know after 5 years, after 2 years, after 1 year, after 1 month, I will be better. But psychological time will never solve the conflict. Again, psychological time can never solve that psychological conflict. There is no amount of time acquired consistently. You pause the pain, and then you engage in a specific thing because you know that maybe in the near future I will be better. Nothing can solve that after she walked away. You have to see, not verbally hear it or see the or hear the words. You have to see it as a fact. You have to realize that psychological time in it itself, it is the conflict. Because once you tell yourself that, now you are creating a pattern that you will be relying on. Oh, she's attractive. Then you remember about something. I will be okay. Let me do this. Let me engage in this. Let me do this. Let me be disciplined. Let me do this. So that when I do this, I expect after 1 year, I will get rid of this conflict. I will be free. But that in it itself, it is a pattern. And you are just creating and trying to broaden up the pattern so that you can broaden up the psychological time, which is the psychological conflict, and you can never be free. And that is a fact. Psychological time is conflict. That is just, you need, there is no verbal, or there is no nuance, or there is no body language. There is totally nothing that can make you no feeling, that can give you a specific amount of time so that you can be free. So what is the way forward to be free from obsessing and having a perception that when I do this, I will be free, I will move away from this terror of conflict? What can you do? You have to see the crack in that psychological time. You have to see the crack, and the crack is the time. That is what deals with it. You have to be aware that the tomorrow time cannot solve this conflict. In a psychological world, time has no place. It's just what is, and you don't need to make a decision. The decision is already made. And you don't need to give yourself time psychologically. That perception, that action of knowing that time has no place, you are looking for a crack in that psychological world. And now you are accepting the what is, and not trying to work on doing certain things because you will be better. Accepting allows you to perceive things as they are and not save them by your feelings, so that you can rely on them in the near future, because you are creating something that you will be relying in the near future. When you don't understand the now, you need to fully understand the now without the observer of the past. When there is the observer of the past, then there is only future and the past. There is no now. And when there is no now, that is when there is conflict. I am doing this because I will be better. So you are relying on your subconscious reality, that is your memories, to work on yourself, to become better. And now you are not fully present, but you are working on the future, and you are not understanding what happened as just what happened. Rather, it must give you a specific feeling that will influence you to act in a certain way, because you expect to get a specific result. But there is no time that can solve psychological conflict. That is the pain. Am I making sense? Like, are you seeing things as they are? The brain, Isaac, okay? The brain, a humankind's brain, the way it's wired, the way it's programmed, it is programmed to conflict. The way the brain is programmed, it is programmed to conflict. And that is a pattern that is caught up in it. In a psychological world, I'm doing this because I will get this. That is the conflict. When I don't get this, there is conflict. Even when I get this, I will disregard the result so that I can get a better result. Because the conflict is always in control, passively, directly, indirectly, consciously, unconsciously. And now the brain thinks that when it solves this thing, it will solve the conflict. But when it solves that thing, it will analyze the result. When it analyzes the result, again there is conflict consistently, and it is a consciousness that exists in a human brain. In a humankind's brain, not your brain, not my brain, but a humankind's brain. And being aware of that allows you to know that the consciousness that exists isn't an individual consciousness. It is a humankind's consciousness, and the decision has already been done. You don't need to decide, or you don't need to disagree. The decision has already been done. You met with an attractive lady, that is how you see it. You don't need to act on it. She walked away. That is the past. You don't need to act on it. That perception in it, that action is what will set you free.